So yeah, hello again. My name is Tanya and I'm a product manager in a Pipedrive, but before it I was a product marketing manager, head of marketing, and right now I'm mostly focusing on the customer engagement here in the Pipedrive, and I also help startups sometimes to develop their customer journey and funnels, and whenever we are talking about this, and we will try to figure out exactly what we are talking about. So Pipedrive, it's actually a first CRM system which was developed by salesperson to salesperson. And yes, we are a unicorn right now, and we have 90,000 customers all around the world. And I'm actually really happy right now to be in the Pipedrive team because we are just cool. Sorry. So today we're going to talk about what is the difference between customer journey map, customer life cycle, sales funnel, acquisition funnel, growth loop, all these different things. How does all it influence to your revenue? And what is a value-based approach? So let's look at some numbers. The latest research shows that companies which have a formal customer journey strategy have faster average sales cycle, greater return on marketing investment, more cross-sells and upsells, and they had more revenue from the customer referrals. And moreover, many companies suppose that the customer journey strategy is the top investment for the next year for them. And it's quite obvious because it brings you money. So let's do it. But again, what we are talking about when we say customer journey, and here we can see a quite regular funnel. It's not a funnel for specifically for marketing, because it might be a marketing funnels, acquisition funnels, whenever funnels, but it actually describes some stages from your customer perspective, like from the awareness, the moment the customer first time see your product, until the last day in his or her life cycle. What is specific about any funnels, that they are mostly focusing on the metrics. So you can see here that at most cases you will track here customer acquisition cost, conversion from different stages one to another. But actually it's still based on your customer journey, and it describes the flow, what customer have working with your product from your perspective, from the business side. Here we can see a sales pipeline, and actually it was invented by Pipedrive 10 years ago. Pipedrive just blew the market with a sales pipeline view, and the sales pipeline is just if you will look at, for example, marketing funnel, and we can zoom into a little bit and look exactly on your sales cycle, then you can also describe it from the stages. Stage by stage, you can describe it. What are your customer doing? What you should do? Usual sales pipeline stages called like lead in, contact made, demo done. So, but to build any kind of sales pipeline or sales funnel, you have to understand what is behind this pipeline. Actually, we are talking about the customer, how much time they need to discuss the offer with the colleagues. Without it, you can't build any kind of sales pipeline or sales funnel. If we are looking here, it's already more closer to growth loops, because actually what I like about journey, that journey never ends on a purchase. So we can see here awareness, prospecting, consideration, post-sales, and referrals, and it's all bring again your customers to new life cycle. Because if you're successful, if your customer happy, your customer will recommend your service or your product to other people, and in this case, it will decrease your customer acquisition cost, or otherwise you also can increase your customer lifetime value. So it never works like you buy something and everything is ends. On the right side, we can see that there is perfect match with the teams which usually in charge for customer facing team would say so. So it started with the marketing, continues with the sales, and supported by customer success. And it's a perfect match because you actually can bring all these two things together, how your teams who are in charge of something for your customers maps with your funnel, your journey, etc. Describe it stage by stage, you can actually increase at least quality and understanding your team, what they are doing and what they should focus on. So basically, it's all about how you analyze your customer journey, and it's not about visualization, it's about finding the gaps. This is what we always forget about when we are talking about some specific method. This is like you have to focus not only on about visualization or templates, but on a deep understanding what's going on with your customers, how it mapped with your business, with your KPIs, and with your teams. Because otherwise there would be a situation then your sales trying to they just can lie to your customers because they have to increase their metric, but they don't focusing on what stages should be after them. And actually, and one more thing, what is actually really important that we always forget, that your customer journey, your customer experience is also experience about money which customers pay for your product. And at some point we always we never consider that the pricing is a feature. And with all these new SaaS businesses, we can understand that there is a freemium model, all the kind of discounts, invite your friends, and referrals can be also part of your discounts. So it's directly correlation with your customer journey and their customer experience. So we're coming to the value-based pricing model. And the value-based pricing model is very interesting, very simple, but so complicated in some point. Because what you need to do, you need just ask your customers how much they are ready to pay for your product. But usually we are thinking that people just like to buy something cheap, something with a discount. They don't want to pay a huge price for it. And to develop any kind of value-based pricing model, you have to know your customers really well. And you have no opportunity to don't understand what they are doing, because it's not about market, it's not about competitors, it's directly about your customers. And actually, the two most famous companies which use value-based pricing model is Apple and Starbucks. They are not cheap at all, but people who buy their product, they suppose that they buy some experience and some value, and this is a fair deal for them. So value-based pricing model can bring you much more money than you can expect it before. And it's bring me to the very simple idea about value nurturing. So basically, what your customer just want, they just want to understand that they did the right choice, that they really expect, have the value, what they were promised on the marketing, on the sales stage, for what they pay already for. And this is why customer journey never ends on the purchase, because you have to prove that they made the right choice. But nobody wants to look like a fool. And especially if you're working with a value-based pricing model, be sure that your customer experience not broken at this moment. For example, somebody buy, your product for $10, but then he figure out that you sell it for $1 for everybody else. It's impossible if you're using value-based pricing model, because you just broke up everything what you have built before. And yes, so basically everything is based on your customer experience, and pricing and monetization is I don't know actually what have a bigger correlation with your successful sales cycle than this experience, this understanding for what people are paying for. And you can't just say something without understanding for your customers and what they are feeling, what they are concerning, what they want actually. And here is just few tips and tricks, because actually what I really suggest is just write it down, because whenever you know about your customers, you just need to write it down. The bigger you become, the more complicated the game started to be, because right now I'm working in a Pipedrive, and we have actually a lifecycle team. So I am part of the lifecycle team, and we are really focusing on this customer experience between different departments. So we kind of providing users to all the different other teams, so customer success, sales, marketing, whenever, and other product teams. And we had incredible amount of users, and I can't describe every step from their perspective. So at this point, there is a data game. So you started to develop AI, deep analysis, etc. But it's nothing without still understanding some basement about your customers. And the bigger company become, the less people started to understand what's going on. The people started focusing on their specific part of this customer journey, about sales cycle, about acquisition funnel, etc. They are not looking and they are not focusing on the whole cycle or whole journey. And this is like kind of our job to provide them right information. And yes, so in general, I would suggest to start with something very simple, because all this fashion and modern customer journey map system, they are awesome if you have something on the background, because start develop them from the scratch is absolutely complicated, and you started to write down some, I'm sorry, but bullshit actually, and it makes no sense. You can't use it. So start with something very simple and try to put yourself on your customer place and try to understand what kind of concerns you might have at this moment, what you should do actually at this moment. And of course, sales is not a final stop. Never think about sales as a final stop, because you lose, if you think so, you lose so much. You lose referrals, you lose upsells, you lose like continuous like retention moment, etc. So, and also this is like a really important moment, is about understanding why are you losing. Again, we at Pipedrive, we kind of quite big to risk any kind of deals or clients, so we can leave if we are not winning 100 more people or something like this. But if like the smaller you are, the more important to win everything, every deal, to use any chance from your perspective. So it's very important to understand why are you losing. Losing is the best knowledge base which you might ever have. And of course, never forget about monetization model. Like I all the time see it, then we are started to like, it's the biggest mistake when we are working all not together. Then marketing just trying to figure out their own KPIs, and pricing is on a C-level stage. Then the product might consider only feature usage or like moment from the buying from online shop, but it's all should work together, because it's still one journey, one customer. Only you have only this relationship. User don't know who is in charge on the background, his laptop or whatever, and you can't blame, for example, I don't know, only marketing or something. If it's not working together, like you have to bring it all together. And monetization model and the pricing model, you can gain much more if you will just consider your customers like on the best behind side on this. So actually, yes, I'm done. I can talk about every stage, every kind of sales cycle, marketing funnel for 2 hours more. But I suppose my main idea is that not focusing on the visualization, not focusing on the naming. The most important thing still is not what you write down on your marketing funnel, is what your customers are doing behind this moment. And I understand well what's going on with your customer lifecycle or customer journey from the very beginning till the very end.